Welcome to the Beer Den Podcast. Tonight we'll be drinking Hop Rocket, an Imperial Indian Pale Ale from Arcadia Ales.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Beer Den Podcast. My name is Ethan Hoopy.
And I'm Michael LaRoe. Tonight we're drinking a beer from Arcadia Ales. They are based out of Battle Creek, Michigan. They actually have two locations, one in Battle Creek, one in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Their Kalamazoo, Michigan location is actually located right on the Kalamazoo River. They have a pet-friendly beer garden, brewery, pub combination. And their goal is to achieve brilliance through balance. They want to brew ales that satisfy the senses with complex flavor while providing refreshment that leaves you wanting more. This one is actually pretty interesting. It is an Imperial IPA. Ethan and I kind of took an alternative route for it. When we poured it, it was very heavy on the sediment. We actually ran it through a coffee filter to get some of that sediment out because we're kind of the mindset that heavy sediment in a beer should not be a thing.
Yeah, no. Get your shit together, Arcadia Ales.
And it does actually kind of change the flavor. It's slight, but it does change the flavor a little bit.
I would almost argue it made it better.
It did, because we did try it before we filtered it, and then we were kind of like, it's a little strong. So we ran it through the filter, took out some of that sediment. Now it's just a nice hazy gold color, but without the sediment. And to be honest, I like it slightly better.
Yeah. It really evened it out a little bit.
Yeah. Nobody likes a chunky beer.
Yeah. And that's kind of what, on our initial pour, that's what we ended up with.
A very chunky pour.
Yeah.
So this one poured a nice gold color to it. Aroma-wise, you kind of picked up the hints of the spruce.
Some citrusy notes.
There was a slight citrusy note to it. Nothing that really came to the forefront in terms of like a citrus note to it. Like it wasn't maybe oranges versus apricots versus, it was just kind of citrusy overall.
Nothing in particular.
There was a slight sweetness to it though, I felt.
What are your initial thoughts on the flavor?
Overall, I thought the flavor was actually pretty strong.
Yeah. Especially the spruce.
Yeah, so we've had a spruce pilsner before, and this was pretty reminiscent of that, and we weren't a huge fan of that spruce flavor.
Yeah.
And so this really drew from the spruce flavoring, and in my opinion, kind of lost points from that, because to me at least, spruce isn't my favorite flavor in beer.
Yeah, it was really strong, and it just dominated the entire flavor profile of it. I almost wanted it to kind of settle back a little bit and let some of the hop flavors, some of the more traditional, or maybe not even traditional, some of the more common IPA flavors kind of come forward.
And going on their website, and we looked up the flavor profile on this one, I didn't feel like it matched up. So on the website, it claims grapefruit, definitely spruce, and spruce is like the one thing that I agree on. Like it definitely has spruce in it.
Yeah.
But it claims grapefruit, lemon peel, caramel, toffee, a biscuity flavor. That I'm not really picking up from it. It's very much the spruce. And maybe it's just that spruce is such a strong flavor that it overpowers everything else. But that's really what I got from this one.
Yeah, if those flavors are there, they are very subtle, only adding a little bit to the overall flavor.
We score everything on 3 criteria. We have quality, value, and design. Quality-wise, I scored this at a 31. it wasn't a terrible beer. I was just more disappointed on the description that they gave with it being grapefruit and lemon and caramel and toffee flavors. I really only got the spruce from it. So for me, I had to score it just a little bit on the low end of things. Ethan, what about yourself?
I ended up scoring it very similarly with a 30. And yeah, it was really just the dominance of the spruce. It just overpowered every other flavor in it. I mean, obviously you're going to have the hop bitterness and stuff like that. That's going to be there. It was a bit too strong with one particular flavor. If it was a bit more well-rounded, I think it'd be much more pleasurable to drink, but it was too one-sided.
All right. Value-wise, this came in at $11 even for a 4-pack. I felt that was a decent value score for it, but at the same time, like the overall flavor, if you're not a spruce fan, then this isn't the beer for you. If you are, then it does a pretty good job of knocking it out of the park in terms of flavor, but if you don't like spruce, not the one that you're going to want to get. So I ended up scoring it a 17.
Yeah, I agree. At $11 for a 4-pack, you got to be sure that you're going to enjoy this. And at least I think for both of us, it was a little underwhelming. So I ended up scoring it a 14 on value. I wish it was a bit more reasonably priced. I think it would be something that I would spend $11 for a 4-pack on if it was more in line with my particular taste.
Yeah, I think, at least in our experience with spruce flavored beers, that the spruce seems to be very overpowering. I'd be curious to see what other spruce flavored beers are flavored as, if they aren't as strong of a flavor or if they are able to balance it out with the other flavors that are present. Because at least in this experience, it matches the previous one where that just seems to be such the overpowering flavor that's really all you get from it.
Yeah, I agree.
Design-wise, I ended up scoring this a 20. I like the label of it. It has a rocket ship on it. It's hop rocket, though I feel like the flavor overall isn't really much of the hops. It's more of the spruce.
Yeah.
So
it really should have been named Spruce Rocket.
It does have the alcohol content, which is 9%. It doesn't have a description of the beer, which is very disappointing. We would really like to see that. It doesn't have the call to the social media, which is a pretty big point for me as well. Ethan, what did you think of the bottle design?
I definitely thought that the artwork on it was pretty on point. I mean, I really enjoy that aspect of it. It definitely draws your eye to it, but it does say that it is 9% alcohol by volume. But in all honesty, that's kind of all that's on the bottle itself. I'm not seeing any kind of best by date. It may be on here, kind of hidden on the glass somewhere, but it's definitely lackluster and it's definitely scarce on information. So because of that, I ended up giving it a 16 out of 25.
I'm actually going to adjust my score. I'm going to drop it down to an 18. There's just a little bit more that I wish I could have seen from the label. I do like the colors, I like the label, but it being Hop Rocket, I feel like the overall flavor was more of the spruce. Not having the call to social media on it, I think it could have done a better job, so I'm going to drop my score down to an 18. So overall, that scores it at a 60 for Ethan, a 66 for myself. That's going to give it a 63 overall for Arcadia Ales Hop Rocket Imperial Pale Ale.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to another Beer Den review.
Don't forget to follow us on social media, links down in the description.
Subscribe, like, and share, and if there are any beers you would like us to try out, leave them in the comments below.
We'll see you on the next episode of the Beer Den Podcast.